sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain and pain, just true pain.
Tragic, tragic!
I am absolutely convinced that men don't actually want relationships. Like, men want their lives as is. They want to go about their day exactly as it is, do whatever they would normally do, and just want somebody there when it's convenient for them, or, you know, for the things they want to do. Like, convince me I'm wrong.
Look around. Seriously, just look at the state of dating today. It's an absolute clown show. You've got women out here crying that men don't approach anymore. Meanwhile, these same women spent the last decade yelling, "Don't talk to me, creep," and now they're lonely, scrolling on TikTok at 1 a.m. with a glass of wine, telling the internet how men have changed and aren't brave enough to say hi. Oh, really? Men changed? Or did y'all just burn the whole thing down and now want someone to fix it with a compliment and a napkin with a number on it? But hold up, before we get into the real breakdown, if you want this channel to keep going, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and the most important part, activate the bell notifications.
So why do men no longer come up to women? I asked this in a TikTok last week, and it got so many comments, especially from men. And I just want to preface this with, this was no shade to men. This post was no shade to men, and neither is this one. I was just genuinely curious and asking. I love men, I think they're awesome, and I think that they're a little confused right now. But most of their responses said something like, we were told not to go up to you guys, and we were told that you want to be left alone, and you just want your own space, and you don't want us approaching you. Which for some women, that can absolutely be true, but I love meeting people in person, and I just think that it takes a confident person to go up to someone when you see them in person, and I think it's a really cool way to meet people rather than meeting people online. Men were also saying things like they were called creeps and weirdos, and they don't want to be called that. It's not a pleasant experience. But I will say that it has to do with how you approach a woman. Like, for example, myself and my friends have had men come up to us with a really, really intense energy, like a very in-your-face energy, and they're really nervous and they're kind of scattered and they're very pushy or weird, and their energy is just off. And one of the most attractive things to a woman is emotional intelligence, and that shows within like the first few seconds of meeting someone when they introduce themselves to you. So if you're gonna go up to a woman, just like take a calm, deep breath. If you see a woman working on her laptop or something at a cafe, you can go up to her and be like, "Hey, my name is so-and-so. I thought you were really beautiful and you seem interesting. I would love to get to know you more if you're interested," and then slipping her your number on a napkin or something, you know? Like, just coming up to women with a calm energy and not giving off this like needy energy or this like pushy energy. I think that is what women don't like. I think it's really sweet and cute to be approached in person, and I know that there's a lot of women like me. There's probably some women out there who don't want to be approached, and that's fine, and it's hard to tell who's who. But I think you can tell when you go up to a girl kind of right away if she'd be interested or not based on her body language, and just be calm and natural and don't overthink it. You know, I know that's easier said than done. I've only gone up to a man once in my whole life, but I think that might help. I don't know. I think I'm just someone who's very interested in people interacting with each other and having experiences and building community. And I think the world is growing more and more introverted and people are on their phones more. And I just think it's beautiful to meet people out and in person, and I just don't want to lose that as a humanity.
Let's get one thing straight. Men didn't just wake up one day and decide, you know what, I'm done approaching women. No. This has been a long time coming. You taught men, through years of social media clips, viral rants, BuzzFeed-style 10 reasons why men are trash articles, that any unsolicited approach is harassment, that a simple compliment is objectification, and that initiating a conversation is emotional labor you didn't consent to. So now, you're shocked that men don't even bother? Welcome to the world you created. The truth is, modern men have become allergic to rejection, but not because they're weak, because rejection today isn't a polite no thank you. It's a public shaming, a viral TikTok, A whole story time about how some poor dude dared to tell you you look nice on the street. Ew, he just came up to me while I was working on my laptop. Like, how dare he interrupt my fake deep focus session at Starbucks? And now here you are, wondering why he won't do it again.
Why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? See, shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women. The masculinity on earth has diminished drastically that guys don't even come up to you anymore. They'll just stare at you from a distance. As a woman who's trying to embody her feminine energy, you're not going to catch me going up to the guy. You're just not. We can just stare at each other. See, shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women, because guys don't do that anymore. If God were to guarantee that your 20th person would be the love of your life, you would be so happy to be rejected by all 19. So why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? We don't chase. We signal like, you can come up to me now. But all men do is just look at you now. And of course, like, if the woman is interested, she's gonna keep looking your way too. But it just like stays like that. Nothing ever happens because men don't walk up to women anymore. Or they're just tired of being rejected. But it's like, if God were to tell you that you're gonna go through 20 rejections before you get to your yes, and that's gonna be the love of your life, you guys would be so happy to go through all 20 because you would just be so closer to the love of your life. Come on, guys, you guys gotta do better.
You've got women out here talking about, we do shoot our shot. We just look at you and expect you to get the hint. Excuse me? Let me get this straight. You gave him eye contact for 0.4 seconds from across the room, and now you're upset he didn't cross a room full of people to shoot his shot. Ein Freund. I gave you the look. You were supposed to just know. That's not a signal. That's wishful thinking. That's delusion wrapped in entitlement with a cherry of Instagram filter on top. And what's worse, half the time the men you want to approach you, you're not even worthy of. That's right. I said it. You want high-value, confident, well-spoken, emotionally intelligent men to approach you, while you bring nothing but eyelashes, BBLs, and trauma. You want masculine energy from men, while refusing to embody even an ounce of true femininity yourself. You're feminine until the check arrives. You're soft until it's time to cooperate. You're submissive until it's time to compromise. So tell me, what exactly are men supposed to be chasing here?
Women need to start making the first move. If anyone wants to be in a relationship, that's absolutely what has to happen. It just has to happen. Guys, in the comments, back me up on this. We have told men for years that their masculinity is toxic. Some men, as they got interested in dating, that's literally all they know, is to stay away from women, is to not bother them, and definitely don't approach them. So there is nothing wrong with a woman approaching a man. That shows confidence. And you know what? I don't even know if this stat is true. I didn't do much research into this, but I did see that 86% of women who make the first move end up married. So, I mean, come on, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't even care if that's not even a true statistic. Hell, let's run with that. But guys, back me up in the comments. Say, yeah, you would love that. Or women say, yeah, I made the first move and I'm now engaged, married, whatever. I'm telling you, that's just the way it's got to be. You don't have to like it. I mean, I'm sure guys didn't like when they were being called, when their masculinity, when their whole being was called toxic. They didn't like that. So start making the first move. And again, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like having to make the first move. You could still have a traditional relationship after that. This is just getting you in a damn relationship. And as far as, not liking things, I do things every day that I don't like to do, but it makes me a better person, gets me to my goals. So these are just facts, okay? Women, make the first move.
I love how now the narrative is shifting. Oh, men just don't have emotional intelligence. They need to approach us calmly, with confidence, and say something like, I thought you were beautiful and interesting. Here's my number on a napkin. What is this? A rom-com? Men are tired. You want him to be bold, brave, charming, confident, but not too confident. Honest, but not too forward. Direct, but not creepy. Smooth, but not rehearsed. Tall, but not intimidating. Masculine, but in a gentle way. Paid, but humble. And then when he finally nails the formula, you still might might reject him just because you weren't in the mood. And that's why men stay silent. Because no matter how emotionally intelligent they are, it's never enough when the bar keeps moving. So when you look around and see silent men, distant glances, and no one walking up to say hi, remember, you asked for this. You said, leave us alone. You said, don't approach. You said, let women make the first move. And guess what? Now you've got it. Silence. And it's deafening. But hey, maybe your next boyfriend is in your DMs if he hasn't muted you yet. This is traditional women, where reality hits harder than a talk breakup. Cheers.